We're starting this video with a bit of maintenance because Marji Bee needs a new sump of oil for the season ahead. We've started the engine up to loosen the oil a little bit, thin it out to make it a little bit easier to drain, and then opening up access to the engine. So to get to the oil, you need to head for the dipstick tube and suck the oil out of that because that runs right to the bottom of the sump. So if you pull the oil out of that with a pump, then all of the oil from the engine is drained. So first of all, we've got to get the dipstick out and the little spacer as well. I would like to highlight at this point that this is the first time that I've done this, so if there's anything that I'm doing wrong, please do let me know. But I think that it's a pretty simple job. You pull the engine oil out and you put some fresh stuff in. So I think we did okay. What I did find out fairly quickly was though that you need to have an absolutely airtight seal around the tube. As you can see here, I've tried sucking the oil out and it was pulling air in instead, so I tightened up the Jubilee clip, and I think I needed to do it again to just get a really good seal to make sure that it pulls the oil out and not sucks air out of it. And I've just used an old oil can to pull the oil out. So, and this type of oil can actually has a clear bit on the side, so you can see how much oil you've pulled out, and then as a guide to start with, that's how much oil you put back in again. Then check it with the dipstick to check that you're at exactly the right level. You can hear now that the oil is pulling out nicely, so we just keep pumping away until it's dry.
I think that means it's empty.
Which is now. So now that the oil is out, I'm changing the oil filter as well. This only went on a couple of years ago, but as I'm changing the oil, I felt that changing the filter would be a good idea as well. But it did start leaking a bit of oil as I took it out, so had to mop a little bit of that up before we continued. Now with me, if I can make a mess, I will make a mess. So rather than leave a full oil filter sat there, I decided to get it out and onto the dock and away from the carpet as soon as possible, before we then primed the new one before screwing it on. So the next thing to do is start to fill her up with nice fresh, clean oil. As I said earlier, I used the guide on how much we pulled out and filled the can as to how much to put back in again. So I kind of did that, but a little bit short, and then started checking on the dipstick, and then checked and topped up and checked and topped up until we got to the right level.
Still well below the minimum at the moment. That's looking better. minimum so we can get it up to the max. Halfway between min and max, so I reckon that's another trick. Should never fill it more than the max. That's what, yeah. And still a little bit more can go in there. And there we go, just below the line of nice fresh oil, all good. Hi all, welcome aboard Marji Bee. That is our season oil change done and the oil filter renewed. We're all up and running again. So now we can enjoy this wonderful weather and head out for another afternoon on the river. Plan again is pretty much our staple for an afternoon run. We're going to run up through Rushy Lock and Radcott Lock and more up on the meadow at Radcott. We have some bits and pieces for a Plowmans Lunch picnic to have there. Laze around there for a bit, maybe go to the Swan for a pint. May even head up a little bit further upstream, you never know. And then back here later this afternoon. So join us on our way. Okay, ready when you are. We're on the lock landing at Rushy Lock at the moment. Petra's up ahead opening up the lower lock gates for us. So I'm just signaling to her as to which side we're going to moor when we go in there, so she knows which gate to open first. It's a lovely afternoon. The temperature is 20 degrees, sunny. It's going to get a bit warmer later on this afternoon. We haven't seen any more boats out so far. I'm expecting to see some out and about today. So looking forward to the day.
I'll say at this point that I do feel very fortunate that we spend 95% of our time on the Upper Thames, because we have the manual lock gates here. They're manual gates and manual sluices, as opposed to the hydraulic gates and sluices that you get from Godstow Lock and down from Oxford all the way down to Teddington. And because there have been so many problems with the hydraulic locks this year, and I know that so many people have been inconvenienced, stuck in locks, not been able to get through locks on manual wind, and manual locks never break down. Okay, a lock gate might occasionally break, but it's not reliant on technology. It's good old-fashioned sluices and pushing a gate open. So we do very much feel fortunate that our days out are never compromised or affected by mechanical failures.
Sorry? I don't like listening to any of that. This is one of my favourite little manoeuvres, is mooring up on the lock landing. Well, Petra's done the lock, so I've got to do this single-handed. Let's see how it goes. Knock it into neutral, come in nice and slowly. Scrub a bit of speed off we need to. Bring the back in on the prop wash. And take her backwards once we've got that over a bollard. Job done. Perfect.
Well, that's how I do the mooring up on a lock landing single-handed. Hopefully that may help some people. Some people may do it differently, but so long as you do it safely and calmly, it's all good. So we actually changed our plans from going all the way up to Rushy because we left a lot later than we wanted to, and we needed to get back home in the evening as well. So we actually pulled in only a few minutes above Rushy Lock because we thought, you know what, if you're going to have a picnic, then it doesn't really matter where you have it. It's the same picnic. So we moored up, as I say, just around the corner from Rushy Lock, which is, and there's some lovely moorings there to have our Plowmans Lunch.
Lovely, thank you.
And it wasn't long after we finished our Plowman's Lunch that some friends of ours, Peter and Annie in their Freeman 23 Dom Pedro, were coming down river and saw us and pulled in and joined us. And we shared 1 or 2 glasses of wine in the afternoon sun, and then headed back downstream to Tadpole. But just as we were leaving the mooring where we had our little meeting, some other friends came past in their Freeman 22. That was John and Helen in Gandalf. So we actually had a little a spontaneous 3 Freeman Flotilla heading back from Rushy all the way down to Tadpole. But as we rounded the corner to the lock landing, we found that this part of a tree had blown down.
That wasn't there earlier, was it? Well, no, because we were moored there. We were actually moored there.
So we did our bit and we cleared it away for the lock keeper.
You right there?
I really can't overstate how lovely it is on the Upper Thames, where I think I've just mentioned that you head out for the afternoon on your own, and before you know it, you've bumped into friends, you're spending time with friends, catching up. enjoying your boats together and enjoying the time on the river, which really is what it's all about.
Oh, Henry, Julia's there. Okay.
Yeah. Ready?
Okay, yeah.
And being two Freeman 23s and a Freeman 22, we could all quite happily fit into Rushy Lock together.
It's not even been windy.
Yeah.
It looks, it's rotten inside. Yeah, it's a crow. We've just pulled it up onto the, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we'll send it in, boys.
Slow it down there.
You all right? Okay. Oh, are they going to pull in at the landing? Are you going to pull in at the landing?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll tipple past. If you're going to step in the pub, we'll keep going and drop onto our mooring, but we'll pop over and see you there. I might have a drink. I haven't had an asphalt so far this year. Thank you very much. See you soon. Oops. Go on.
So we all made our way back down to Tadpole, and Peter and Annie in Don Pedro actually moored up at the pub there because they were staying overnight.
Flotilla?
So we dropped onto our mooring and popped over to the pub and met them for a little drink to finish the day. And what a lovely day it was. So, well, that's another day of Will and Petra and Eddie and Parker out on Marji Bee. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for sticking with us to the end. And I hope you join us again for another day or two out on the River Thames.